I'm going to be knocking down and rebuilding these two old paling fences, and for the rebuild I'm going to take you through every single step and show you everything we do to build a paling fence. I also want to say thank you to Bluetti for sponsoring this video, and we're going to be using one of their power supplies to charge all of our batteries and run the compressor for this video. The first thing we have to do is obviously come through and demo and get rid of these existing fences. The easiest way to ever get rid of a fence is do what we're doing here and cut the rails off the post and just grab the entire fence as one large thing and pull it out. I see too many people try to rip off every single paling by itself, and you're just making so much more work for yourself. Oh my god. Dude, this has got so much weight to it. Nice, that's one out. Good news is that dirt is super easy to dig into. So Basso's pulling out the rest of the post on the other side. And while he does that, I'm going to start prepping the new post that we're going to put in. What we're going to be doing is coating it with this bitumen paint. And we're going to be putting this on the portion of the post that's going to be sitting in the ground. This is an extra over-the-top waterproofing. Even though these posts are made to sit in the ground and they'll be fine without this, this is going to add another 5 to 10 years on the longevity of the fence. What's the ground like over there? Is it all roads?
Too bad. The concrete, a lot more concrete.
Oh, there's a lot more, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I got really lucky with the old posts over here. Alright, so we're going to leave these for a bit now to dry, and I might need to give Basso a hand on the other side, getting those old posts out. Oh, is that almost one?
Yeah, that's one now, baby.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Half the comp. Just keeps
true.
And it breaks off the concrete.
Oh, so it's not too strong. That's good. Good work. Yeah, this looks like a nightmare. It's probably going to be better to break the conch anyway, just for actually getting rid of these. Yeah, that seems solid. So we got all those old posts out, and what I'm doing now is running a string line which is going to show us the line of where the fence is going. I'm going to put this up now so that when we dig our holes, we can make sure we're digging our holes exactly in the right place. So how's that with the retaining wall? Is that hitting?
That's perfect.
Is that? That's good? Just, oh, that's good. Yeah, I think for this end post here, we'll probably have it outside of the brick.
Yep.
And then we'll just, the palings have to be on our side, so we might just go this way and wrap around the post into the wall there. Because these posts have been offsetted from the end of the fence.
Yep.
I think we'll probably do the same thing. So our first post is going to be right there.
Yep.
Because there's going to be concrete pads beneath these two posts. We don't want to disturb them. Yep. So yeah, we'll dig a hole here and just go as close to those concrete pads as we can go. And then our other rails will just match into those and we'll screw them into that.
Yep.
If you hold me roughly where my hammer is, that's roughly going to be the first post. Max is 2.7.
Yep.
Those rails we got a 5.4, so we want them to span over two posts. So that's why max is 2.7.
Yep.
What did I say? So 9.2, and we'll have 1, 2, 3 posts in the middle. So we'll divide that by 4. That gives us 2.3 meter spacings. Yeah, butt me into the brick. That post is going to be end on. So 2.3. I'm just going to mark this. I'm going to do center for the post. This one's going to be 4.6. 4.6, just so you know, is
Right side of that column.
plus 50 mil. So 2.3. I'm just going to lay those snips down while those pincers down. Before you start digging, do you want to jump over the other? Actually,
Yeah.
no, I'm just going to jump on with you. Let's dig these. Let's get this fence done, or the post in, and then we'll worry about the other side. The one thing I'm worried about is if there's going to be a concrete footing for this retaining wall, because I'm going to be going straight into that. But it actually looks like they haven't done any footings at all for it. We might be all right. That was my shovel. Oh, I hate not having timber shovels. So what we're going to do, we'll chuck this post in. We're actually going to go flush with the outside of the brick.
Yep.
We'll get this one plumb. I've got a few temp braces, so we'll shoot it off.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll do the far one over there. And with those two up, then we can string it and just make sure every single post in between is spot on. Grab that shovel. I'll get you to cut open one bag. I'm going to get this hole a bit wet. Yeah, so we'll just do one bag for now. We'll mix that up. I'll put the post in, and then we'll do the other bag while the post is in. Oh.
We're together.
I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm just going to hold this here. I'm really happy with this.
It's a bit wet and dump the whole bag.
Yeah. big demo stick if you want, demo pole. What do you call them?
I thought me and Mitch call them. No, I think me and Mitch used to call them toothpicks.
Toothpicks?
Yeah.
Get the toothpick, mate. I like that. That's definitely something Mitch would say. Oh, sorry, I should have hosed it down so it didn't get dusty. So the two options we got with this fence is to either have all the palings on our side, or we could cut it and have them sit on top of that retaining wall on the other side. But it might look a little bit funky from this side though. From the other side though, there'll be like a 50mm gap between the retaining wall and the... We might just need to like fill that up. Shit.
No, I was thinking that, but then it would look fucking shit from their side as well. Like 50mm gap. Like, what are they going to do there?
Yeah. You just have to put like another board in.
Yeah.
Do you want to
make it up for 1.5?
Nah, 2 bags per post, yeah. They're all we're gonna obviously cut all the posts afterwards. It's just gonna be this one. Actually, no, it shouldn't be too bad. I can cut it from this side.
Yeah, you do.
And set the blade so it doesn't hit the brick.
You gotta get that for sure.
Nice. Can I get that level? And then what we'll do is
The temporary side?
I reckon we backfill it with dirt first. That should compact it, and then we'll the temp brace. That's really good. All right, that is out slightly, but I think I'm going to keep it out. I'd rather follow the brick and have that look neat on this side rather than have it plumb and then have a gap there, because that's plumb there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but that's pretty much hard to at the bottom, and then we got like a 10mm gap at the top. Yeah, I'm going to follow the brick for this one. I'm just going to keep holding that here. Can I get you to hold that post for me, please? We'll keep backfilling a bit more. It's pretty solid. I'll just get you to keep a hand on it, and I'm just going to chuck in these temp braces. It does. How's that?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's pretty solid. We'll leave that there and we'll start doing the one on the far side.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll get you to open that bag. The same thing, I'll get a bit of water in the hole. Oh, hang on.
I'm gonna make stew.
Oh, that is very wet. Lucky we got another bag. Can I grab that off you, please? Do you mind getting me that level too?
Yeah.
Actually, hold this. I'm just going to pull some of that concrete to the side. Yeah. I'll get you to put it in.
Very wet.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that's plumb and just hitting the stringy, and we're good there, so go for it. And I'm not too worried about this side. We'll get that right at the end. Just going to hold that there. Don't go too much, because I did make the other mix pretty wet. Yeah, can you get the toothpick on the other side of the post?
Yep.
There's a bit of water in there. We'll just move that. I hate being the guy holding the post, because you're like running around doing everything. I'm just here chilling. Nice. I'm going to double check that for plumb. Can you keep an eye on the string? Let me know if I hit the string. We're good there.
Fuck me, it's actually perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. Nice. All right. I'll get you to backfill that, if that's all right. Yep. And then same thing, we'll get some temp braces on this one. Just over your head.
Yep.
Yeah, if you could get that plumb stick and let me know when we're happy. Happy?
We never got that way, that's the problem. Yeah.
Awesome.
Now that we've got both of our end posts put in and plumbed up, I'm going to get another string line running from the tops of the post. Now when we go through to fill in the other posts in between them, we need to make sure that they hit the top string line and the bottom string line. And if they hit both of those string lines, we know the top and the bottom of those posts are straight and also plumb in that direction.
So these ones should be heaps quicker. We've got string line top and bottom. So we just need to make sure it hits both of those. Just, yeah, you're gonna have to keep shifting that bottom back and forth to make sure it just hits both lines. If anything, I'd actually rather it have a 2 or 3mm clearance in both lines, and that way we know it's not fouling. You're good?
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Didn't doubt you for a sec. So we got 4,760. That should be really good. Sweet.
both will be in the manual.
So that's real good that way. And then with the line, you've done a real good job.
Yeah, I know. That was proper sweet.
So we can leave that, let's not touch it. And once we've done all of these, we'll go back and just recheck them. That's the first lot of post in. We're just going to leave these to dry. And we're going to jump onto the other side.
I might keep it open, sure. Yeah, good there.
Awesome. I think we're done. Alright, so we've got all the posts in. We're just going through and rechecking them with the level. Since we're using quick set concrete, the stuff sets in about 20 minutes. So that's why we're not too worried about putting braces on all of these ones overnight. Just the end ones, which are going to be really important because they're holding the string line. Anyway, day's done. We're going to pack up, let these properly set overnight and get back to it tomorrow.
See ya.
Alright, so we're back for the last day of the job, and I'm going to set up this power supply again to run all the power all of our tools, and today I'm going to be using it to run the compressor. And this thing is impressive. You can see how small and light this power supply is, and it still gives off 2 kilowatt hours. And for reference, that means that this can run this compressor, a 1200 watt compressor, non-stop for 100 minutes. And we're going to be using this compressor powered off the power supply later today to go through and shoot this fence off. It's 100 minutes of non-stop use, but when you're using the compressor, it's not constantly charging up and ticking over, so we could probably get closer to 3 or even 4 hours of use with this power supply. For now though, we're going to turn this thing back on, and I'm going to start charging some batteries off it. And I've recharged this up last night. It's back up to 100%, and at 100%, it could recharge one of these 4 amp hours 18 volt batteries 29 times, which is elite when you have a look at how small this power supply is. I'm obviously using it for work today, but it makes this power supply perfect. If you're going camping, you can easily throw it in the back of your car or in a toolbox. It doesn't take up much room at all, and it can power stuff all weekend long. If you've ever considered buying a Blue Ready product, it's a perfect time to do it. They're currently running their end of financial year sales, so jump on, have a look, and especially check out this Elite 200 V2. This is one of the best little power supplies I've ever seen. Right, so we left the post overnight. Now they're all solid, I'm going to go through, take off the temp braces, and now we can start cutting them to size, checking them out, and putting the plinth board on. We'll get the chalk line, and we're going to stick a line for where this plinth's going to go.
Yep.
Can you go on that side there?
Yep.
Hold your chalk line on the top of that plinth board on the other fence. Because if the plinths marry up, it means all the fence heights are going to be the same. Alright, so what I'm going to do is hold mine up here. We've cleared out the ground. I just want to make sure we've got pretty good clearance the whole way through. Check where it's fouling and check at the highest point to let me know what we have. Right where your feet are, check what we have.
You're 145.
I'm going to go up slightly. Alright, cool. I'm going to flick this. This is going to be the top of our plinth. Is that marked? This will be top of plinth, and that's going to fit where it is, and then afterwards we'll go through and just backfill the dirt. You good for length? Yeah. Awesome. And can you just cut a small plinth just to kick back around that post there? Thanks. So for this one here, we've actually ended up ripping the plinth board so that in the corners, the fence heights are going to match up and be exactly the same. All right, so I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to mark out exactly where the rails are going to go and where we're going to cut the fence off at. I've got set measurements that I normally go off. For an instance like this, so where we're matching up with another fence here, I'm going to just copy these heights so that those rails and those fence posts are going to be at the exact same height. From the plinth, they've gone up 130 and back down, and I'm going to measure rail to rail, and that's 710, and that is also 710. So we hold there, and that looks pretty good. For that fence post from the top of the rail, we're up another 155. So that's going to be top of post. So what I'm going to do is mark that first post and then come over here, and I'm going to do the same marks on this end post, which is 155, 710, 710 again, and then I was 155 to top of post. So we've got all our marks, and now we're just going to go through and flick these lines the entire way through flicking the lines through is going to save time and also guarantee that these rails are going to be straight. I'm going to hold this side. Are you happy to run all the way down there?
Mark ready?
Yes, both sides are marked. For yours, I've done every mark 25mm too high. I got confused by the measurements. I thought that bottom one was 155, it was actually 130. So
25mm too high.
yeah, 25mm too high.
So, yeah.
If you just remark every single one there, down 25mm. I knew I should have checked that. We'll do that again, I don't know if that flick. Can you flick yours? Yep. Let's wind her in and then do the last three. And bottom one.
Yep.
All right, so we've got a mark here for the top of the fence. And what we're going to be doing is creating some fuller mat. So the other fences had 15 degrees. We're going to keep it exactly the same so everything's mirrored. So that's 15 degrees on my speed square. And the reason we have this full is we don't want a flat top of the post for water to sit on and potentially get into the grain. So that 15 degrees just means that water's not going to sit on that post and it is going to run off. And to keep it easy for myself, I've just got the big girl out, the big 235mm blade. And that means I can cut through this post just with one cut. I don't have to go through twice, doing one cut on either side. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is go around and do the checkouts for our rails. So I've got an offcut piece here which I'm going to use, and those lines we flicked are the top of every single rail. So I'm going to line this up with the top, mark the bottom, and then that's exactly where we're going to be checking out. And then to do the checkouts, I'm going to grab my saw, and we're going to make the depth of the saw exactly the size of the rail, which is at 45mm. And with the saw set, we're just going to be doing 2 cuts per checkout, one on the top of the line and one at the bottom. Then after we've gone through, done the 2 cuts, I'm just going to grab a chisel, line the chisel up with the grain of the timber where that cut finishes, and we're just going to carefully hit the chisel, and that checkout should pop out. And to make sure it doesn't split, I'm going to jump to this other side.
We can actually make this step a little bit easier, and what I should have done is gone through with my saw and done another cut in the middle of that block. It's just going to make the timber a bit easier to split and a bit quicker to get this block out.
In this one we've got a small knot in there, so that's why it's a bit harder to get out. Normally though, when you do that, your chisel finds a grain and it just goes through and splits off that same grain the whole way through. And I'm just going to get a bit of rail to double check it, and you can see that sits in there perfectly, nice and flush, and there's not much movement, just enough movement so we can easily get that in.
For the rest of this video, I'm going to focus on filming this fence here. Originally I was filming both fences and it started to get a bit messy jumping back and forth between them. Since I'm focusing on this one though, Basso's gone through on the other side, he smashed it out, and he's about to start shooting on the palings, so I've gone through, quickly set up the compressor so he can use the coil gun. And what's cool is that we can actually see the current output being drained from the battery, and then it shows us how long that battery can last with that current output.
For this corner, obviously I can't get my saw in there because we've got a brick wall in the way, so I'm just going to have to switch over to the multi-tool. It's going to take a bit longer. There goes the compressor, but we're just going to cut through this. This rail is actually going to end up perfect with that other fence there. Like, it's going to run past and we'll screw them together.
Yeah, I'll hold you.
I'll be able to hook on, you're right. So what we're going to do, I'm measuring these rails now, and we're going to have them span across 3 posts, and we're going to stagger the spans as well. So we're going to have the top and the bottom going to my tapers, and that middle one is going to join on that middle post there, just to help support everything. For this first one, can we go full 690?
I reckon this is even a fun part.
Putting the rails in.
Yeah.
And to secure the rails to the posts, I'm going through, pre-drilling the holes, and we're using bugle screws to hold them together. Actually, I'll get a measure for you, because for this one we'll stagger it now. We'll have the join here, and that can also run past. Actually, throw me your tape. I'll hold it in line with the other ones. Yep. Go there, yeah.
Yep.
Right, so we've got the rails on. I've just finished cleaning up on that side of the fence. It just needs a little sweep and we're done. And now we're up for the fun stage, going through and putting on the palings. I think I'm going to be starting in this corner, which might make it a bit awkward to film, but we'll see how we go. Oh, it's going to be really tight working in here. All right, so I'm just going to start the fence in here. And once we get to a clear point where I can show the camera what I'm doing, then I'll talk through the system that I'm doing and show you how easy it is to actually put on the palings for this fence. Alright, so all I'm doing for this stage is getting my 150 paling. We're going to be sitting them hard down onto that plinth board. And I'm using a 2 meter level as a spacer, but I've also got it there so I can keep checking them, making sure they remain plumb. With that, I'm just going to shoot 2 nails, using 45mm coil nails for this. And I'm shooting in the middle of the rail, and just 1 nail either side of the paling. So that's this process. It gets quite repetitive, but you can smash it out really quickly. Just getting the level in there, jamming your paling hard too. And honestly, when I'm doing this, I'm only really checking the level every 5 or so palings, because as long as they're all hard too, it should always read pretty plumb. If you did have a mistake and it was slightly out of plumb, what I'd advise doing is shooting the longest side. So for example, if this is leaning that way, I'll shoot the top, pull the level out and make that gap a little bit smaller. Worked out really well. That is honestly the last 150mm plinth board I bought, and it actually worked out millimeter perfect with this fence. Alright, so I'm going to start spreading out the 100mm, which are going to be going over the gaps, and then we'll start shooting these on. Alright, so I'm just going to start from the middle here, so I can clearly show you what I'm doing with these. But we're pretty much sighting these when we put them on. I'm going to put them on an angle so I can see the bottom and have the exact same overlap of this 100mm board going over both 150s. And then what I'll do is just keep my eyes on it as it goes up and fill the top to make sure I've got it even and spaced out perfectly. With that done, I can see the rail coming through, and I'm going to take a bit more time shooting the nails on this one, as these are going to be seen. And you can notice if that line is a wonky. So I really want to take my time to sight those through, being as straight as possible. I'm using these other nails we shot off as a bit of a datum as well. So once again, it's a very easy, straightforward process. I line those bottoms up like that, hold them in place, and stand it up, making sure the top has that same gap. There we go, the job's all done. You can see it's something that starts off a bit slow, but as soon as you get those rails in, you fly through getting it done. Hopefully this video was helpful, and that's how you do it. That's how you build a paling fence.